Hi again, friends. In this video, let's do a modern interpretation of this very famous painting, The Creation of Adam by Michelangelo, which is in the Sistine Chapel. And what we'll do is we'll look at it not in the traditional way that it's always talked about. Well, here are the contours of the painting. Here's the whole perspective, blah, blah, blah. And this is a little bit of a snooze fest at times. What we'll do is we'll look at what's relevant in this painting today for the modern viewer, and we're going to look at some poetry and music that I created about this painting, again, with a more modern perspective. So, today religion doesn't have as much of a cultural pull as it did in the Renaissance, and so the modern viewer is like, okay, God, but people who don't believe in God, what's in this painting for those people? And I think what's in this painting for those people is the natural beauty of the forms, the human form, naturally, of course, right? But I think even more than that, the gentleness of that moment where God and Adam's fingers almost touch, that very moment. So let's do a close-up on that. Here we can see how the fingers almost touch. There's a gentleness. And this is a metaphor in a way of, well, how do you want to connect with people? And before I show you the poetry that I wrote about this very moment, exactly this touch, forget Adam, forget God, what if it wasn't them? What if it was two people? And what if it was the way two people connected? Now, I'm going to give you a challenge, and perhaps you can comment in the resources of this video, in the comments. How would you describe this moment poetically? And I'll actually give you that answer I'll show you how I did it in my poem, which is a song. And by the way, the song is coming out tomorrow. So if you're watching this video on the very day that it's released, the song is not available. If you're watching this video on any day after, I'll have the link to the song in the description of this video, and I'll have, there's going to be a pop-up like little thing here, and you're going to be able to link to that song, and you'll be able to see that poetry sung in a song that hopefully opens up all the emotional content of the poem. So this is a very touching moment. If you want to pause the video, if you want to think about, well, how do you actually put words on this? How would you describe this moment? Because it's a fascinating thing. I believe that this moment of this kind of a human connection, the metaphor for this, isn't in our everyday language. Like if you were to put words on this, it would be actually very hard. Because even if you said their fingers touch, it's not really describing this moment, right? It's a deeper connection that you would have with a person. So how would you describe that connection that's painted in this painting here? I think for all ages, religious, not religious, the main focus in the modern era can be this moment, not the greater painting. So whether you want to pause the video or not, and whether you want to give it a try to think about how you'd phrase this, let me walk you through the lyrics of my poem. Perhaps in a different video, I'll give you the full walkthrough and full analysis of this poem, but in this video, I'm only going to give you the couple of lines that have to do with that very moment. And here is the first line, which took me weeks to really realize, and help from other people to really put that moment into only a few words. So here it is. There's a line that builds into it. It says, "My fingers gliding along your silhouette." So this whole poem is not God and Adam. So in my modern take on that moment where the fingers touch, it's no longer God and Adam. It's more me and a romantic partner. So the poem reads like, this is the middle of the poem, "My fingers gliding along your silhouette, you're breathing with me," and here's the line, "Our souls have met." So this moment where that touch, the almost touch, this is almost the soul's meeting, right? And the next two lines actually are really lines that I like. Also took me forever to come up with them. "Our eyes close as my fingers track new Sistine chapels along your back." Almost like that caress paints new Sistine chapels. If you're not aware, Sistine chapels is where the original creation of Adam is. And then a little bit later in the poem, I also have a few lines about this moment. And we surrender in ethereal sublime, where souls touch and forever intertwine. And here it is, with hearts in heaven while we're still on earth below. It's a little bit of that reference to that ethereal God moment, hearts in heaven, but we're still on earth below. We'll paint the world better than Michelangelo. But you get the idea. It's our souls have met, is that moment. That's the words that I use to describe that abstract idea. And also, there's another moment where moments or centuries later, I open my eyes after that touch, and then when you wake up from something wonderful like that, you wake up, you open your eyes, and it's moments or centuries later. Sometimes you're like a little bit too dazed after that, right? And then we've levitated in our touch, I realized. And that levitated, it's kind of a homage a little bit to the original Michelangelo painting where Adam and God, they're sort of somewhere in the air, right? And so it's almost like me and my romantic partner sort of almost kind of matched the feel of the creation of Adam painting. And so that's what I try to do in this in this poem. And the song is coming out tomorrow with a music video, with a whole production, like a musical arrangement, not just me playing guitar, but also a whole musical arrangement. So it's a full-blown song. It took me many months to actually write the lyrics, write the melody, create the arrangement, edit everything, create the video. A ton of work. So I did thank you for watching this video, and tomorrow is the release of the song, so I'd appreciate it if you checked out my channel tomorrow, or you might just get an alert and watched that video tomorrow. So thank you for watching. Hopefully this was interesting, how we can juxtapose and rewrite Michelangelo's ideas into a modern setting, that even if you're not religious, like a lot of people today are not, there's still so much in this painting, so much humanity in this painting, perhaps even more now that religion got stripped away. And of course, if you're religious, I don't mean to denigrate your views of it, but if you're not religious, there's actually even more perhaps in this painting if you look at it from a non-religious perspective. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.